Hi everyone. So, welcome to today's session, which is on MOX analysis. So, as you all know, MOX analysis is a very important part of your CAT preparation journey. So, that is what I'm going to be discussing today in details. So, when it comes to MOX, the season starts usually in May mid. One or two mocks happen in April, but primarily it starts from May mid. This year, because of this lockdown thing, the primary set of mocks might be starting sometime in June onwards, which is fine. There's no major issues with starting 15 days later. Maybe you can take the take home mocks right now, and then you can start from June onwards with the proper center based mocks, which is perfectly fine. The important thing is how many mocks do you give a week. So that is ideally supposed to be two mocks a week. So every week it should be like two mocks, and effectively we're looking at 6 month period from now until CAT. So that is 26 weeks, which means approximately 50 mocks in this period. And believe me, having taken 15 mocks in this period will provide you with a lot of confidence going forward into CAT. But just taking mocks is not enough, which is what brings me to today's session. What do you do as far as MOX analysis is concerned? So how does MOX analysis work? So in the MOX analysis, based on the institute who signed up for, so ideally the leading players are IMS, Time, CL. So IMS has their SimCats, Time has the AimCats, CL has their proctored mocks. So IMS is probably the best test series to go for. So you have what is called your MOX analysis dashboard. So what happens out there? In your MOX analysis dashboard, you'll get a lot of columns that are there. For example, there will be one column on attempts. There would be perhaps a second column which talks about your accuracy. There could be a third which talks about the marks you score. There could be a fourth which talks about the time taken per question. And then you have one column which talks about your marks per minute, which is nothing but your return on time. And this is your most important parameter, because remember, your denominator is fixed for each of the sections. That is, your denominator is 60 minutes for each of the sections. The primary aim is maximizing your marks. So the more return on time you have, the more marks you end up getting. The ideal return on time is 1 mark per minute. Why? Because you're getting 1 mark per minute means you're looking at 60 in each of the sections. Now, how do you use the dashboard to your advantage? So let's look at a simple topic like DILR. So what is happening is, after every mock, your dashboard is getting updated. Do not just look at the mock dashboard for a particular mock, but also look at the overall composite dashboard. That is, all mocks till today. Good evening, Hemant. So there, let's say in DLR you have number of topics, like for example, charts, graphs and charts. You have one topic which is talking about logic based DI. You have a topic that talks about games and tournaments. You have linear arrangement and circular arrangement. Then let's say you have a topic on multi-parameter, LR, and so on. And in each case, you look at your marks per minute. These things might vary for each of them, but look at your marks per minute. Let's see your marks per minute is as follows: 1.3 for charts. For logic based DI, it is 0.9. For games and tournaments, it is 0.4. For linear and circular arrangements, it is 1.1. For multi-parameters LR, let's say it is 1.2. And let's say your average marks per minute is 1. So what did we understand? Obviously, charts and multi-parameter based LR falls into your strong zone. Why? Because there you're able to get a very good return on time, taking into account, and remember, return on time or marks per minute takes into account all the parameters: number of attempts, accuracy, marks, and time. Remember, the denominator is marks per minute, which means it's taking into account the time taken per question. And suddenly you find there is one particular area which is, these are your strong zones, these are probably your moderate zones, and then you have one particular area which is your grave weak zone. That means, and after you've taken, let's say 30-40 mocks, so maybe in the month of September when you've taken already 30 mocks, you suddenly realize that even then there is one topic which is in your 0.4, that is in your terribly weak zone. What does it mean? It means you're not comfortable at all. You're not comfortable at all in games and tournaments sets. So what do? Whenever you encounter a games and tournament set in the exam, you skip that going forward. Why? Because you know that you are not good at that. Your objective should be maximizing marks in your strong and moderate areas. Always remember, be it your mocks or your actual CAT, your objective is not to improve your weak areas. Your objective is to maximize on your strong and moderate areas, because that is where you are best at. That is where you can improve the most. So while attempting a mock or while attempting the actual CAT exam, focus on only those sets, on only those questions, or only those passages which are from the strong and moderate areas, and that is where the MOX Analysis dashboard helps. It gives a consolidated view till today, all the mocks that you've taken combined. This is the scenario, and believe me, that is the best judge, because that is actually showing you across different mocks, across different situations, how you responded. And even across mocks, if you perform terribly in a particular area, it means there is something that doesn't work for you in that area. Either you are getting in the answers wrong, or you end up taking too much of time, which is why the ratio is so bad. And if you've not been able to improve it in 30 mocks, it means even after another 20 mocks, it won't improve. Even after a CAT day, it will not improve. The other thing, don't look for easy questions in this topic. You identified that one topic is a very weak area. Don't scout for easy questions in your CAT exam or your mock exam, hoping that perhaps one question could be easy and end up wasting 3-4 minutes. No. If you are doing that, then you're further worsening your return on time in that area. Rather, focus on your strengths. Instead of focusing on the examiner's weakness, that examiners set easy questions, focus on your strong and moderate areas. Within that, clear out as much as possible. Try and avoid stepping into your weak areas. Now, after a mock, when you're doing your analysis, definitely you can have a look at your weak area topic, but that is only till the month of September, mid. Last 2 months, forget your weak areas completely. If it hasn't improved by then forget your weak areas completely. Focus only on your strong and moderate areas. Because remember, your aim is to maximize your scores. And your maximizing of scores will happen courtesy your strong and moderate areas, definitely not your weak areas. The other thing that is important in MOX analysis is looking at which are those areas where you're ending up consuming too much of time. So when you're looking at marks per minute and you see there's something low, also look at whether it is more of an accuracy issue or it is a time issue. And make sure that you're going back and you're checking each and every question or passage or set where you're having a major issue as far as accuracy or time. Probably there was a particular set where you confidently ended up marking all answers wrong. So you need to go back and check where you erred while solving. Also, often what might happen is the set might have a structured approach of solving, which if you had managed to figure out, it would have been a lot easier for you to get maximizing your marks in that mock. But effectively what you ended up doing was you did not solve in a structured manner. So now when you're analyzing mock, it's important that you understand the structured approach so that next time a similar kind of set comes, automatically you can play around and automatically identify, okay, fine, this is the priority parameters that I need to focus on. This is the way I can go about solving the set. The next part of your mock is your weekly plan. So as far as your weekly plan goes, since you're getting 2 mocks, what you should be doing is 1 mock in your midweek, 1 mock in your weekend. The moment you do that and you end up doing what is a thorough analysis, it is going to end your story. So do make sure that you're taking 1 mock midweek, 1 mock weekend, because that will end up doing a thorough analysis for you. The next thing is experiment on your strategy a bit now. Yes, initial couple of months till September mid is the time when people can afford to experiment on a strategy, but once you end up going into the last 2 months, then you've got to go into it a finalized strategy. Initial couple of months till September mid is when you can afford to experiment a strategy, afford to experiment on the way you're attempting, but at every point of time, make sure that you're doing at the end of every mock a detailed analysis of that mock as well as the breakup of your strong, moderate and weak areas across the spectrum of mocks taken thus far. In case it happens that there is one particular area which has been your strong area always, and in one mock you've done badly, do not panic too much. It could be perhaps because from that area the questions that came in that mock have been more difficult, but in the next mock again it would go back to your strong area. So one-off blips can be ignored. Do not worry too much about them, but at an overall level, just make sure that you're strengthening further your strong and moderate areas. You're not letting them fall into blips, and even those weak areas, if you can convert few of them into at least your moderate, that would help. The other thing is practice more of mocks and sectional mock questions, either full mocks or sectional mock questions rather than standalone topic based question. Avoid topic tests. Why? Because topic tests are unidirectional. For example, they'll give you a question on time, speed and distance and it'll make you think only along the lines of time, speed and distance. They'll give you a question on triangles and they'll only make you think along triangles. But it's only going to be in sectional that you'll end up creating a question which might be a mix of the concept of TSD and triangles. And that is what is most important as far as CAT is concerned. Being able to solve multi-topic questions. And that is the reason why mocks or sectionals are more important. So these are the key pointers that you need to keep in mind when you're analyzing a mock. Clearly keep identifying your strong and scoring areas, mock in, mock out. Focus on your strengths. They fetch most marks on the day. Do not emphasize on improving your weak areas anymore. One of the key metrics should be a return on time. The last one is don't pay heed to speculations regarding CAT exam pattern changes. Remember, mocks are all about a 3-hour ordeal. Analysis is supposed to be a 6-hour ordeal. So every mock test that you take, it might just seem to be 3 sections, 1 hour each. When it comes to analysis, you have to do at least 1.5 hours per section and then look back at your overall dashboard. The first part is for understanding the questions, understanding the solutions, understanding where you got wrong. The moment I say where you got wrong, usually what happens is, often in a lot of questions, especially in areas like verbal, people tend to be confused between 2 options. Let's say D and B. And suddenly they ended up marking the right answer as B, which ended up being the actual right answer. So what they do is, they assume that this was the correct answer, so they do not feel the need to go through the analysis of the solution, which is actually incorrect. Remember, you had a confusion 50-50 chance that in B and A, luckily you got it correct. But next time you have a confusion between similar options, you might end up marking D and you might end up getting it wrong. So what is important is, read the reasons against B and D, understand why D is incorrect, why B is correct, so that next time you never have that similar confusion again. Remember, the objective is minimize future confusions again. And the best way to do that is by analyzing and understanding the solutions in details. The same thing might happen for quants. There might be a question where you ended up taking 3-4 minutes to solve. But if you looked at the options, perhaps there is a 15-30 seconds alternative approach that could be used. So even though you got it right in 3-4 minutes, it's important that you understand that what are the 15-30 seconds approach, so that in your actual exam you can solve the question 15-30 seconds. Remember, almost 15 questions out of 34 in CAT can be solved in 30 seconds to 1 minute max. That is without pen paper. And to do that, you have to get a hang of those techniques, and the easy way to get a hang of those techniques is understanding the shortcuts in the solutions. Just because you got it right in 3-4 minutes doesn't mean that you stop solving that and you only focus on those questions that you got wrong. No. The reason why I've given 1.5 hours per section is the 1 hour, which is the traditional attempting time, is we want you to go through all the solutions in details. Similarly, in DLR, you might have got a set correct, but you might have taken 12 to 15 minutes. Perhaps in the first 4-5 minutes you were stuck in the set. When you were stuck, what was that important clue that could have made your life easier is something that you need to know. Or was your initial 4-5 minutes approach not the right best way to go about approaching the set? So that is where looking at the solutions will give you that perspective, and that is something which is very important as far as CAT is concerned. Remember, mocks is the place where you can go and improve, and there should be a gradual improvement across your preparation journey. But don't overdo it. 2 mocks a week, preferably one of them from IMS plus the other from Time or CL could suffice. Alternatively, remember, you also have the luxury of Unacademy mocks as part of the Unacademy Plus cash subscription, which would work. Remember, the Unacademy mocks are available as part of the Unacademy Plus 12 or 24 months program. You get a chance to get mentored by CAT toppers and 100 percentilers. So this is the 12-month plan. This is the 24 months plan. So either one of them you can go for. So in both of them, you have the mocks that happen. It's almost happening on almost a weekly basis. Plus, if you're availing the subscription using the discount code Nilanjan Dutta, where there's no space between Nilanjan and Dutta in the discount code, you can get it at an even more cheaper price. So do make sure all of you are part of the Unacademy Plus 12 or 24 months program and you're attending the DLR live classes. Tonight 10 p.m. is the next session and the Perfect Score batch, wherein the next session is at 10 a.m. Both of them are available at unacademy.com/plus. To subscribe, you can discount code Nilanjan Dutta. You'll also get the mock test series with it. So I said MOX is a bi-weekly schedule, so twice a week you take your mocks, once in the midweek, probably a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, any one of those days, and once in the weekend, that is Saturday or Sunday. As far as your daily make sure that you're practicing 2 RC passages, 1 moderate, 1 difficult, 2 Diala sets, 1 moderate, again 1 difficult, and when it comes to quants, you're practicing 15 quants questions. In case all your topics are covered in quants, then go into just random practice of quants questions, 15 quants questions in a time-bound fashion. Each of these must happen in a time-bound fashion, 10 minutes per RC, 10 minutes per DLR set, and this is 2 minutes approximately per question. So each of them should happen in a time-bound fashion on a daily basis. If you are doing that till CAT, it's more than enough. The good thing is, during this lockdown period, in case you have a little more free time, you can try increasing these numbers from 2 to 3 here, 3 here, and 20 here. That would be ideal. But even if you cannot, if you're going with 2 RCs daily, 2 DLR sets daily, 15 quants daily, that should get your job done as far as CAT 2020 preparations are concerned. Also, attend all the live classes that I have conducted by me on Unacademy Plus. So for example, Saturday, Sunday, every Saturday, Sunday at 10 a.m. I go live as part of the Perfect Score batch. So this is a batch which is designated for people who are aspiring for a top percentile, something like 99 or 100 percentile. So do make sure all of you are being part of the live classes. Other than that, live classes, as I said, mocks, 1 midweek and 1 at the weekend is what you can look at. So this is basically a schedule that you can look at on a regular basis. So any questions, Jinay? I hope both Jinay and Hemant, both of you are subscribed to the Unacademy Plus 12 or 24 months program, where you can get mentored by CAT toppers and 100 percentilers like me. As you know, I am a CAT 100 percentiler. Anybody else has any other questions as far as your mocks are concerned? Remember, you should be going for either 12-month or 24-month program. 24-month program is currently available at 75% off. Just make sure that you're not dilly-dallying this period of lockdown and you're making the most of these online live classes. These are one of the benefits of the Unacademy Plus CAT subscription. You get to learn live from the comfort of your home, unlimited access to all courses, all the top educators on India in one platform, exhaustive coverage of syllabus, regular doubt clearing sessions, live test series, study material in PDF format, answer writing sessions, mentorship and guidance. Each of these are available. So overall, just remember, next couple of months, initial few mocks, we start from your mocks right from June. Don't worry about the syllabus not having been completed, because remember the CAT's exactly mock pattern is very similar to whatever you've studied in 9, 10, 11, 12 as far as quants, English and so on. So just go with your basics in mind, attempt mocks right away and keep preparing side by side. Make sure that you're doing this detailed analysis and breakup of your strong, moderate and weak areas. That's a very must. And make sure that you're doing this thorough analysis after every mock. Every 3 hours that you're devoting for taking the mock, your analysis should be a 6-hour exercise. Focus on the key metric, that is return on time, which is basically nothing but your marks per minute metric. Focus on your strengths, because remember that is what fetches you most marks. That and more marks you get in a particular area, the more percentile you get. Focus on whatever will get you the returns. Don't emphasize on your weak areas. No weak areas. Focus on your strong and scoring areas. So if we do not have any questions, we'll end today's session here. This is basically an overall recap of the session. There's a dashboard that I was talking about, the marks per minute being the most important parameter. Identify which are the areas where your values are going down. So those are your weak areas. Remember, when you're attempting the paper, try and skip questions from these weak areas, be it your mocks or the actual CAT. Remember, even your mocks are supposed to be like taking it as your actual CAT, not taking it as a practice exercise. Focus on adopting the structured approaches that you're seeing, both for VRC, DLR and quants, but at the same time, look at option-based techniques. Be alert right from the first mock itself, because then only it will improve by the time you're taking CAT. Remember the 2 mocks weekly plan, which test series to choose I've already provided, preferably IMS and then any one of time or CL. That's the breakup that you should be looking at as far as mocks and sectionals are concerned. Whatever you do, make sure you're going in with a thorough analysis of the mock. Initial period, experiment with your strategy a little bit. Baad mein jaake, no more. Just make sure that you're identifying your strong or weak areas and you're proceeding. Practice more on mock and sectional questions than standalone topic questions. I have CAT nearby, September or mid onwards. Forget your weak areas. Don't emphasize anymore. Initial couple of days, yes, you can try and improve it, but afterwards, no. And the last one, which is important, as CAT nearby, there'll be a lot of articles talking about which IM is hosting it, what are the expected changes in pattern and so on. If you look at the CAT in the last 5 years, the pattern has been almost similar. So don't pay heed to speculation regarding CAT pattern changes, breakup of the number of theta questions in each section, the level of difficulty is supposed to be higher in this section versus that section. Avoid all of that. Just focus on your preparation journey, and ultimately what will be your CAT pattern will be more or less similar to the last few years. So do not worry too much on that front. Focus more on your strength, focus more on your preparations rather than on random speculation and clickbait articles. And as I said, I hope all of you are already part of the Unacademy Plus 12-24 months program. If not, just make sure you're subscribing to either one of them using the code Nilanjan Dutta, but do it by tonight 10 p.m. We have a DLR class tonight 10 p.m. and we have tomorrow 10 a.m. a perfect score batch class. So before that, make sure that all of you are subscribed and you're attending. So this is the place where you go and you enter your code. In referral code section is where you go and enter your code Nilanjan Dutta while subscribing. So then on that note, we'll be ending the session now. Thank you everybody and happy learning.